Welcome to the Overboy Show. This is Antonio from No Marks Allowed, and it was a big weekend in wrestling. First, you seen MJF finally get the throne after holding the AEW title for 402 days. Then The Rock dropped a bombshell saying that he was going to face Roman at WrestleMania. Now, how would this go? Would The Rock win the Royal Rumble and call his shot and say he wants to face Roman on night two of the Royal Rumble? Or will CM Punk win the Royal Rumble and call his shot against Seth Rollins, and The Rock and Roman will be a specialty match? And with this said, all I can think about is CM Punk in this situation, because I remember when CM Punk had the World Heavyweight title, The Rock was a big movie star and he was a part timer, and The Rock was popping it, and CM Punk was popping it, saying that your arms is too short to box with God, and The Rock ended up taking that title. Now, what if The Rock comes back and loses the Roman? CM Punk is going to start that mess. We're going to have the same old CM Punk, like, oh, he gets to come back and lose to Roman, but when I had the title, he came back and beat me. And this presents another big problem for WWE. If The Rock comes back and loses the Roman Reigns, that can drive a whole lot of fans away from the WWE for the fact they don't like Roman having that title anyway. And then if casual fans come back to see Roman Reigns beat The Rock in WrestleMania, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, for 3 years, the WWE has been trying to get Roman Reigns over with mainstream media, and it just hasn't been working. So if he beats The Rock, would this be the push Roman needs to get to, you know, highlight, you know, WrestleMania and also be that face of the mainstream that they want him to be? Because right now, a lot of people on the streets, mostly, I say 9 out of 10 people on the streets that's not a diehard wrestling fan, has no idea who Roman Reigns is. But you can point them to Randy Orton, who's still in that roster. They know who he is. You can point them to Charlotte Flair. They'll know who she is. Ric Flair in AEW. And CM Punk, Triple H, they don't know who those guys is. Even Shawn Michaels backstage, they never held the title as long as Roman Reigns, and they know who those guys are. So will this be WWE's final attempt to get Roman Reigns over with the mainstream by beating The Rock? I mean, like I said, The Rock really doesn't care if he wins or lose. Or I see the best case scenario that they can do is have The Rock, you know, beat Roman once for the Universal title, and then Roman come back next WrestleMania and beat The Rock. Because that's the best way they handled The Rock versus John Cena situation. But I feel like if The Rock loses to Roman, they can finally have Roman keep that title and longer than Hulk Hogan's reign, because they want to erase that Hulk Hogan reign for good. And this is a good way to do it, is bring a part-timer that doesn't have a best vested time in the WWE to beat Roman. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of people they could have had beat Roman. John Cena. They could have The Rock lose to Roman and then have John Cena beat Roman to beat Ric Flair's record or tie or whatever it is, because John Cena is the perfect guy to do that. Beat Roman, become the 16 or 17 time heavyweight champion. You have a squeaky clean guy to do it. And a lot of people like Michael Cole are already calling John Cena the greatest of all time. But I just want to see CM Punk's reaction if The Rock loses to Roman Reigns. You might get another pipe bomb. So that's crazy. So I finally got to watch some AEW. I've been winning so much money on DraftKings Sportsbook. I wasn't thinking about AEW or wrestling. I was just locked into the NBA. But World's End, it just had me more confused about AEW. I'm seeing like the tournament final with not Samoa Joe, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. And it's just the same old shit over and over again with AEW. Like, are they just making matches for investors? Are they looking for a new TV deal? That's why they keep pushing these same people down our throat, like John Moxley, Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Kingston, and these are people that fans love. So maybe to investors or new networks, they trying to push those guys to the forefront. They had Swerve go against Dustin Rhodes. I don't know where the hell Dustin Rhodes came from, but he was at World's End. And then the tournament was so confusing. I just turned the station every time I saw it because I swear to God, Roosh lost. I swear to God, Jay Lethal lost. But it's the same people in the tournament every fucking week. I know it's a point system, but it's too much confusion. The main thing you should do with a tournament is have it be single elimination. Don't put Jay Lethal against this person after I've seen him lose to this person. Don't put Eddie Kingston against Jay White if he already lost to John Moxley. Don't put Swerve in there with John Moxley if John Moxley loses to Eddie Kingston. You know what I mean? It just don't make sense. It would have been a lot better if it was more wrestlers and it was single elimination. Then MJF lost. Adam Cole was revealed to be the devil, and that was the easy way out. People were saying stupid shit like Mustafa Ali was the devil, but anybody that was smart enough knew it was probably going to be Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, and Wardlow. And they beat the dog shit out of MJF. And now MJF is injured. Now they're saying MJF might go to WWE because he's off the roster page. And I was thinking MJF might not be going nowhere because I know he ain't gonna let that shit ride. He don't, have his injuries heal up and come back. But then again, every time someone leaves the Bullet Club to go to WWE, they get jumped out. So Tony Khan has strong ties with New Japan. Maybe that was the reason Adam Cole turned heel and Wardlow, Roderick Strong, and Mike Bennett beat the shit out of MJF because this was his swan song. So maybe he will go to WWE after his injuries held up. A lot of people are saying they think he already signed, but you know what I mean? And this goes to show Tony jumping the gun when he says the 4 pillars of this company, MJF, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, and Sammy Garva, you letting the guy walk. When you say shit like that, you got to offer people they can't offer they can't refuse. You got to overpay MJF so he can stay in AEW. You might have to give him more than what WWE gave Cody if you want to save face. Now, another way you can go about it is start all over. Because right now, you got Edge, Kenny Omega is injured. You got Swerve on the upside, but I haven't seen Orange Cassidy in a while. You got Darby and Sting doing the same shit over and over again. Chris Jericho, an older WWE guy. It's time for AEW to start that renaissance. Just like they brought the indie guards into the company, like the Young Bucks, Darby Allin, Sammy Garva, Orange Cassidy. You got to re-up on the indie gods now. You got to get back to being that alternative and spend big money on these indies guys. Charles Mason, perfect. MJF is the people's scumbag. He's done being an asshole, but Charles Mason isn't. He's not being done with being an asshole, and he does some very medieval shit on people, like smothering people with masks while they bleed, talking about poor people. Matt Cardona, MJF is done being an asshole. Matt Cardona isn't. Mance Warner, Nick Gage, pay Nick Gage a bag and let him do what the fuck he want. Let him go to GCW and AEW back and forth. You let John Moxley do it. You had a death match with Chris Jericho and Nick Gage on live TV, and that shit was one of the best matches I've seen. So this is the time for AEW to reset in the new year. I know it was talk about them bringing Brock Lesnar and Ronda. Those are big stars, but that's all you bring. And you might could bring Seth Rollins over. Don't bring no Jinder Mahal. Don't bring no Mustafa Ali. Don't bring no Braun Strowman because you don't want to be like TNA. Get all the people WWE is done with. You want to get the indie renaissance. Get these guys that's going to come and turn the world upside fucking down because they doing it on the indies. Mance Warner, Charles Mason, Matt Cardona, Nick Gage. Work out something with Brett Lauderdale, Tony Khan, where Nick Gage and Nick Gage can do AEW and GCW. Make that work because John Moxley did whatever the fuck he wanted in there. So you can let Nick Gage do it because I see AEW falling the fuck off if they become TNA and not be that, alternative. Now they still got FTR, they still got the Young Bucks. That's a good thing. Kenny Omega will be out for a couple of weeks. They got Will Ospreay coming, finishing up. Then you got Swerve, you got Orange Cassidy, you got veterans like Adam Copeland, Edge. This time, listen to him because I remember when AEW was kicking WWE's ass for the first 4 years. You seen those guys in the locker room like Jerry Lynn, the Big Show, Mark Henry. Like you seen them backstage, and AEW was at its best. And I know Tony Khan was probably taking advice from them, but now I'm starting to see Tony Khan stop taking advice from those guys backstage and start doing his own thing, like burying the Young Bucks to try to make people get over, and no one cared. Will Hobbs beat the dog slob out of Chris Jericho, tried to get Will Hobbs over. No one fucking cared. Shane Taylor, I love Shane Taylor, but he had 2 matches against Big Keith Lee, had two matches with Samoan Joe. After those 2 matches, no one cared about Shane Taylor. So Tony Khan has tried to push black wrestlers, but they just not getting over. We got to hold wrestlers accountable by not getting over when they get these chances. Look at the Acclaim. Look at they got over. They was on Dark. They lived on Dark. They got put in the front. They got put in the forefront, and they exploded with Daddy Ass. So some black wrestlers. Look at Swerve. He got put to the forefront, and now he's one of their biggest stars. So AEW is giving black wrestlers a chance. Some taking advantage of it. Some not. So that's just like in the WWE. They put New Day out there. They got over. Some black wrestlers get a chance to get over. They might not get over no matter who they, get put in the ring against. So we got to hold wrestlers accountable for not getting over. We just can't blame it on the booking. But I feel like AEW got a chance to make things happen if they go back to what they did when they first, started. So AEW, just hold this L. You lost to WWE in 2023. 2018 to 2022, y'all whooped AEW. Y'all whooped WWE's ass. But WWE, when it comes to 2023, you just got to hold this L. WWE is doing it right now. Oh, you might see me talk about black wrestlers in a certain way because I try to look out for them because I feel like some fans, if they like a certain promotion better than the other, they'll try to say one promotion is not promoting black people when the top promotion is actually burying black people. So they would try to twist the narrative because they ain't cracking. They just all the meat swallowers and try to say I'm talking bad about the black wrestlers, but I'm actually talking good about the black wrestlers, saying that the WWE is actually burying them. So I'm saying like I don't bury black wrestlers. I bury WWE for burying black wrestlers. And like the black wrestling community, they always say, yeah, all black people stick together. Yeah, that's if you fat, black, ugly, broke, and got a whack ass bitch. It's all black wrestling fans and black wrestling podcasts to stick together. But if you a fly ass nigga that's going to WrestleMania front row seats, going to the WWE pay-per-views, sitting on the floor, going to every AEW event, sitting on the floor, and you rocking jewelry, and you a fly ass nigga. Oh, it's like don't do shit with the overboards because he ain't for black people. Like nigga, how? Like what the fuck? I'm the one that's standing up for black people the most. So that's why you don't see me do collabs with a lot of black wrestling podcasts because they jealous, they whack, and they corny. So they all want to stick together. So they fear me. But there's a few real niggas that I fuck with, like Don Moon from Powerbomb Jiu Jitsu and Marks with Mike's, KTR Know Your Role podcast. Them niggas is real. They know I'm not burying black wrestlers. They know I'm spitting the real. So all this black IWC shit is really phony because if they see you as a threat, they get jealous of you, just like niggas in the streets get jealous of a nigga making all the money. You see what I'm saying? So I know I don't bury black wrestlers. I bury WWE for burying black wrestlers. And if you can't understand that, you don't even got the mind capacity to get my content, or you just hating on purpose.